Hello and good evening from Germany. Hello to everyone, to all the viewers. I hope that we have some guests tonight. Um, this is Jonathan Quell Higgins going solo again. Swiss is still absent, missed a lot. I've had a conversation with Swiss earlier this week. He's doing fine. Everything is okay between him and me, but he's still very busy and not able to do the shows together with me. And I thought that I'm trying to secure this slot and just to entertain you. Unfortunately, two of the invited guests for tonight gave me a pass. So at the moment, I'm doing another solo. Um, if anyone is in the mood or has the time or would like to join me, you're welcome to hop on with me in the panel and share with me some time. I've posted the link in the comments, and yeah, that would be nice if I would have company. It's always easier to have someone on your side. So we have here greetings from Russell, who says, "Have a great show, John and Swiss. I'll catch it later. I hope that you're going to enjoy what we're doing tonight." Danger Will Robinson is referring to an earlier show. I've been on the Escapement show, and I've been talking about hot mess. So probably that is what he's referring to. And I have a new guest, or I have a guest for tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the original OC. Hello.
Good to be with you, Jonathan. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I know what it's like to do a live stream all by yourself. It is not fun. So I thought I'd jump on, maybe hang out with you for 15, 20 minutes or so and see if somebody else jumps on and wants to take my place.
That is super nice from you. So you're welcome for any kind of watch talk or connected talk. So thank you very much for holding my hand in those difficult times when Swiss is missing. So
I need to connect. I need to connect with Swiss because I've been summoned or roped into going to Geneva. So I'd like to be able to. I think he in prior chats had said, "Listen, if you're coming to Geneva, look me up." So I can't remember
oh, okay.
if I have his contact information or not. But he's having reach out to me on Instagram. I'd love to be able to connect with him, and if he's available, that would
Yeah.
be great. Great to see him there.
So if you need any help, shoot me a message. I'm sometimes communicating with him via Discord. If you need a contact info, I'm happy to connect you guys. From what I know is Swiss is attending the show during the week and not on the weekend. As far as I know, you guys are planning for the weekend. Is that correct?
The weekend, but I might be there a day or two early, so there might be an opportunity for me to sync up with him prior to the public days.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a good idea. Just like I said, if you have any difficulties connecting with him, let me know. And I hope that Swiss is watching this show and he knows then how to reach out to you. I think you have an Instagram channel where you can be reached easily. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yep. Open to everybody to message me.
Okay. So your plan is to arrive before the weekend?
At this point, my plan is to arrive before the weekend to arrive, I believe, on the 29th, the morning of the 29th.
Yeah. Are you having appointments
No,
with
I
the
don't have
watch
appointments.
company?
I mean, Watches and Wonders has some public events that are planned
Yeah.
for the 30th, and I think it's like from 5 to midnight, like the big celebration or something that's going on.
Hmm.
And I think the 29th is open. That's the day that I arrive. So my plan is to arrive in the morning and spend as much time as possible sightseeing. I don't have an agenda, so anytime if anybody wants to invite me to do something, I'm happy to meet up. Or if someone is attending the show during the non-public days and can extend an invite or
Hmm.
somehow some mechanisms for me to attend that day, I'd appreciate it, and I'm happy to meet you there at the exhibition. So yeah, it's kind of fluid right now. It's just something that just happened, and I don't want to. The good part about arriving earlier, and by earlier I mean before other people arrive. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Is that I don't have to chaperone them, and
Mm.
I don't have to be on call with the bail bonds, international bail bonds, Jonathan, which is not
Hopefully,
fun.
yes. Mhm. So yeah, the main, but you're touching the main issue with Watches and Wonders, and it has been the same with Basel World. The problem is when you're not an AD, it's difficult to get in
Right.
without a connection and a appointment. So, but I know
Yeah.
that the weekend are public days, so they're a little bit more open than during the week.
Yeah, but I've heard that those are very, very busy days. It's like going to like the auto show or something where all of it,
Mm.
tens, I don't know how many thousands of people show up, but
Yeah.
and then I'm assuming like the Rolex stand is jammed, and
Yeah.
the Tudor stand is jammed with people, and you don't get to really see anything. So the whole point of being there is like kind of moot, unless I mean the whole point, I guess, for me is more the networking and just meeting people. People are reaching out that watch the show and know who I am, but have never commented in the chat,
Mhm. Yeah.
or and they're like, hey, and I'm like, well, who are you? Like, oh, I watch your show. I was like, oh.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure some people remember you and will approach you. And I can tell you from own experience that this is a very pleasant part of being a part of that community. And I wanted to touch that as a little update. Because 2 weeks ago, that was the last show. We did our famous Gonzo stream together with Jamie Opulence, this guy, and Dodger. And I just wanted to give a little summary of our meeting. It was just fantastic. I really enjoyed the two guys, Jamie and Dodger. One second, where do I have the picture of Dodger? So we were planning this for quite some time, and it was just as enjoyable as we all hoped. I hope that I behaved well. So here you can see Dodger and Jamie. They're exactly like you know them from the channels. Totally nice people, and yeah, we did some work. I'm pretty sure you've seen the video that Jamie shot and hosted on his channel, and also we hosted it here on this channel, and it has record numbers. We are almost already over 1,000 views, and this is sensational for our little channel here.
Amazing.
Yeah, so we spent amazing two days and 2 nights together with some great German food. I think my highlight was here pork knuckle. Have you ever had that?
No, I haven't.
It's super yummy. Make sure that it's grilled just like that one here. And what the most important thing that you eat is the skin, and it's super crunchy. Tastes really nice like that. Don't accept it being cooked. And you can see the dumplings in the background and sauerkraut. So doesn't get more German, particularly with a beer in the background.
Cool. Well, I want to be one of the first to congratulate. I'm sure many people have already, but congratulations on the article in Monochrome.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah,
documenting the your experience with the BCHH, the watch that we've heard about for months and months and months, and
forever.
maybe even longer. Yeah, forever. And it's great to see something like that in print.
Yeah. So yes, and I'm welcoming new viewers here. I saw that our subscriber numbers went up a little bit prior to this particular show, and I think the Monochrome article helped me and us a little bit, because there was a little link, or there was a link to this show. And just to everybody who hasn't seen it, my world term is featured in Monochrome. I've been meeting up with the editor-in-chief and founder of Monochrome, Frank Gehlen. Last week, we met halfway, and he took those incredible pictures of my watch. It's amazing what a guy can do in a restaurant with just a block of wood and a camera and a lot of knowledge, I guess.
Good pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very proud about this picture. I think I've been talking about it before. You know, it's one thing to own a piece which is totally custom made for you, and I've been talking on this channel and on other channels. Something totally custom made and tailored to your wishes is something special. What makes it extra special is when you receive those pictures from your particular watch in the making. Because try to approach Patek Philippe and ask them, can I have a picture of my cloisonné dial in the making, how it has been done or have been finished. Good luck with that. That is all possible with BCHH, Benjamin Chi, and Anders in Genève, and this is just fantastic. I think it's a different level of an experience of a watch and of customer service. And I know that you guys are talking a lot about wait lists and behavior of sales people and how to get on the list at all, and does it make sense to pay over retail and so on. And this entire experience was so different to what you usually talk when you're talking about the big brands.
Yeah. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on what side you're on, more and more of the independents are being bombarded by investor type collectors, people who
Yes.
who spent the last couple of decades, with Rolex and with AP and Patek Philippe, and now they've gotten bored with that. At the same time, they also see the financial potential of getting involved with smaller brands, getting to know the CEOs and the watchmakers, and getting something that's a little bit more exclusive. And so, you have that element that's complicating the independent part of the market.
I've during that 1 year project, and still I'm in touch with the owner of Anders in Genève. His name is Alex, a fantastic guy, and he was telling me right from the beginning about his supply issues, and he told me it starts with his suppliers getting the correct grade of brass to make his modules or spare parts, and his main topic is not how am I getting new customers. His main problem is at the moment, how do I get the parts to finish my watches?
Oh, really?
That is no joke, even for such a small company like Anders in Genève. Now imagine what the big companies are fighting over. And like you say, unfortunately, the independents are getting very popular at the moment. Good for them, because they've been struggling to find clients for their crazy products for decades, and they've been a little bit like the ugly ducks. But now that people, collectors, are discovering those, they are overwhelmed with requests. And Alex told me in person how much he appreciates that I'm wearing this watch. You can see little scratches already on it. I tried to protect and secure the watch, but I'm wearing this thing, and it's going to be scratched. And he told me he doesn't want to sell to people who put it in the bank vault.
Gotcha.
He wants
Yeah,
to see them on the wrist.
there's certainly a strata of independence now, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. A certain strata of independence. I don't want to call them hype independence, but it's basically there's the cream has risen to the top, and there is a certain, and I would probably put Chopek in that category, and Romain Gaultier, and Grubel Forsey, and MBNF, and a few others that have really gotten a lot of FP Journe, a lot of attention, not just as great watchmakers, but as watches that are harder to get, and therefore you really need to work hard to build a relationship to get them. And those are the kinds of watches that that very top tier that all of the Rolex investors, collectors who are bored with Rolex have suddenly moved on to looking at those things.
It's I agree with you, and in my opinion, FP Journe is the worst at the moment
Yeah,
because
the absolute worst.
he became such a hype. I'm not saying undeserved, because he does crazy complications. His movement finishing, in my opinion, is not really top notch. But other than that, his technology and his movements are really crazy, and he has a unique design language. So, what did I want to say? The problem is when those hype collectors, or when those collectors who are interested in investing are flooding now the independents. We may see a similar development with the independents, with wait lists, with delayed deliveries, and so on. And those investor type people move on then when the market drops, just like they moved now a little bit away from Royal Oak and a little bit away from Nautilus. The demand is still strong, but you can see some of those people hopping off the hype train, can't you?
Yeah, it's already happening. People who got in early with FP Journe and have been waiting on the list have been told that they have to wait until 2024 if they thought that their piece was coming in 2023. And people who, for example, were on the wait list for a Chopek Antarctique because they thought it was something that would sell over retail are suddenly getting calls. Hey, do you want your Antarctique black dial? It's like, well, I don't know. The market's soft right now. It's like they never really wanted it because it was a great watch.
Yeah.
They wanted it because they thought it was something that would be a hype piece.
I'm waiting for the call from my AD who tells me you want your Antarctique now, because I'm on the list for one, but he hasn't called, so I'm a little bit like AD never calling as well. But I agree with you with Chopek. Unfortunately, they became also a kind of hype brand, and it's not a bad thing, in my opinion, when those hype collectors are now hopping off and make room for those who really want those watches. And
what?
I'm yeah.
No, go ahead.
I'm convinced that there are enough clients who really appreciate the watches for what they are, and they have incredible movements. I just saw the Chapek Antarctique on the Monochrome CEO's wrist last week, and it's just outstanding. It's a fantastic watch.
Yeah, and one thing that these independent brands have been doing really well is building very intimate rapport with their customers, very close interactions, in-person meetings, small meetups, whether it be at watch dealers around the world that organize these events or other events that are organized, and they make themselves very accessible, and they also listen very carefully to what those collectors want of them and what direction they want their brands to go. And people like Alexander of Chopek, Christine from Maurice Grossman, Romain Gauthier. These guys are Ludovic Ballard, Ferdinand Bertou. They're very excited. I met with the CEO of De Bethune yesterday, and he's happy to chat with you for 30 minutes about what he's doing, the direction where he wants to go, what would you like to see us do, those kinds of things. So it's amazing. And those investors or collectors feel like they're more emotionally attached to that kind of startup mentality.
Do you think they're really getting emotionally attached, or just attached because of the potential development of the brand? That is what I'm not sure about.
Yeah, it's probably both, but I think you're right to be a little bit cynical that they feel those connections will in an emerging brand will help them get access to pieces when the brand is much harder, and the pieces will be more and more valuable.
Yeah, unfortunately, the dirty tricks are being done now with the independents to get access first, how do you say, walk.
It's a relationship building. It's relationship
Yeah,
ROI.
yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, yes. This is the way it is, and I'm hearing a lot of talk. Yeah, the situation is getting better, and the supply situation is getting better by Rolex. I'm not sure what your take is about that, because we recently saw that it's easier now to get a Submariner in steel, for example, than it used to be a year ago. So can you see the supply side really relaxing, or what do you make out of that?
It's There are more watches coming into the United States than ever before. Um, that's for sure. I mean, if you look at, for example, the Federation of Swiss Watch Industry, their report for January 2023, and let me pull it up. I'm looking at it right now. Shipments to the United States
Yeah, record high.
over the past 2 years are up 74%, and over last
Yeah.
year, up to the United States, up 26%. I mean, and we're talking record shipments already into the United States from the Swiss industry. So those watches are going somewhere.
Well, first of all, the prices have hiked a lot in the last year. So part of
Sure.
those 70% is an increase in
Is the value.
pricing.
Yes, is
Yeah,
the value is going up, correct?
yeah,
Not just so units are not obviously going up 26%. The value
yeah.
is going up, and you're right that's a direct reflection of the increase in wholesale prices
Mm.
that is being generated.
But there is certainly also an increase in number, and I think you can see that at the moment, because it's, like I said, the supply for certain hot models has now relaxed a little bit. But I personally can't see that as a stable trend. My explanation for the high numbers that are delivered to the US are simply Russia failed as a market, and China was still failing as a market. So Rolex and other companies are then moving their output, their production to the US at the moment, because those the other markets are not open. Now China is opening again. I can see that this trend will change, and supply will get a little bit shorter for the US. What do you think?
Yeah, it should, and we've all been waiting for China to open back up for them to take a larger allocation of the pieces that they normally get. Just 2 years ago, China was neck and neck with USA, and,
Yeah.
and even surpassed USA as the largest market for the Swiss watch industry. As of today, January 2023, they're down 17% from last year. So those what USA and China markets used to be the same size, now the US market is about 75% bigger than the Chinese market. So
Yeah.
when China does open up, and by the way, and you're right, Russia is non-existent. Russia, there's 0 pieces basically
Yeah.
officially being shipped into the Russian market. Not that they were a big market to begin with, but it does have an
But still
impact.
a significant market, I would say.
That's significant. It's not 10% of the global market or anything. It's probably 1 or 2%, but 1 or 2% is still something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So listen, look, we're talking allocations, availability.
Yeah, which is
Rolex.
not what we're usually talking here on this channel.
So someone else should please hop on the panel, so and you can relieve me of being on with Jonathan, and you can talk about something better and much more listenable.
No, I'm always enjoying those kind of conversations. Not that is my main focus, because we try to focus here a little bit more on watchmaking, horology, the finer parts of watchmaking. But I think it's a welcome change to have this kind of conversation. And
maybe I'll share a little bit about my my brief conversation with Pierre Jacques, the CEO of De Bethune, which, as you know, has been fully acquired by Watchbox. So, but Watchbox was smart to recognize an investment in independent brands, mainly FP Journe, Longa, and De Bethune, primarily for selfish reasons, obviously, to corner the market on those watches that they felt would be appreciate in value over the next decade.
Yeah.
But De Bethune, they were very open in saying that they wanted to produce 250 watches last year. They fell short of that. They produced about 207, mainly because customers were asking for pieces that were more complicated, not just three-handers. So as the customer requests for more complicated pieces came in, it impacted their ability to produce them because it took longer to make them. But they still in their goal for 2023 is to go from 207 to 300. They try to be they may not make that, but these brands all want to grow. They just want to grow reasonably, and the code word for them is we want to grow organically.
Yeah.
Organically with the demand. In other words, like, we want to grow and capitalize on the fact that our brands are interesting now, but we don't want to grow so fast that people accuse us of cashing in.
Yes, no, but I think there is, you're being the cynic like you're always, OC. I apologize for attacking you
No, you're
right now.
attacking me
I think
viciously.
you have to keep in mind where those independents are coming from, and those have suffered for decades for the lack of attention and for the lack of customers. So they know how it feels when the times are bad, more than the big players. I had a conversation with Sven Andersen, who was talking about a now famous independent watchmaker, and he told me that he remembers he was in his atelier in Geneva. He was exhibiting in Basel, and he was sleeping on an air mattress in his atelier because he couldn't pay for the hotel. Keep in mind, this guy is now doing tourbillons.
Yeah, it must be incredibly stressful for an independent brand to lose money year after year after year after year.
Yeah.
in the quest to become successful. Even successful brands, there's so many of them that have been teetering on the edge. Like we were talking about Zenith the other day.
Yeah.
It was just 3 or 4 years ago that the Zenith CEO said, if they weren't producing 30,000 watches a year, they should be out of business.
Yeah.
And even with the success of the Chronomaster Sport, which flew off the shelves, it was selling close to retail. It's still doing okay, but of course you can probably get them at 20% off, but it's still a successful watch. They're at 14,000 watches a year. So they've got to be hemorrhaging, so they'll never be able to justify their existence to LVMH. It's a brand that just based on the financials should be shut down.
Yep.
So I understand your point makes a lot of sense. Finally the market has shifted and the independents are in favor and they want to capitalize on it. And it's like, hey, this is finally our chance to maybe turn this into a profitable long-term company.
Yeah, but on the other hand, they know how the bad times feel. So they're probably afraid. If you're running an independent company who is doing 300 pieces, and now you have the demand, which enables you to produce 1,000, you're asking a question how sustainable that demand is.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And a company like Chapek has done a reasonably good job, for the coming out with a steel sports watch, at the right time, maybe a little bit late, but faster than a lot of these independent brands that are mainly focused on watches with straps, very complicated watches, but still watches that are defined as dressy, not sports watches per se. Chapek's done a good job, but they're like, hey, if we could increase to 3,000, we'd do it. But I think if they did that, they'd find out that the true market for their pieces is maybe 1,000. And then what do you do after you've scaled up so large? And you once you scale up to so large and your production exceeds demand to the point where your brand, your flagship pieces aren't selling for over retail, therefore you're not getting significant demand. It's a circular spiral.
I disagree
in the opposite
with
direction.
you. I disagree with you, like always, OC, respectfully. I think the Chapek has the potential to sell 3,000 watches a year. I think that number. So Chapek made 300 watches last year. I think that is the official number. And the CEO went public and said we have to change our entire business model because our goal will be in a couple of years to produce 3,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And you are a kind of 3 and 4 dimensional chess player to the highest degree, and I think the Chapek CEO said that with a purpose to scare off some of the investor type collectors that we've been talking about earlier. Wouldn't you agree on that?
Oh, I hadn't thought of that actually. That would be something that he would intentionally say in order to discourage people from
I
placing
think
orders.
I think he's looking at the orders. He's looking at the secondary market prices that people are demanding, and he thought, okay, now let's put a signal out. Um, your potential investment is not a good investment anymore because we are now flooding the market. If they really do that, I'm not sure. But
Well, that
I
would be
personally,
that certainly would be 4D chess for sure, because it's more logical for him to say things like he has been saying, like the demand for the Antarctique is so much that if you express interest in one now, it'll probably take you 2 to 3 years to get one, and that's okay because the watch is worth it, and we're limited by the quality of the production that we make.
yeah. By the way, OC, I enjoy that conversation. I hope that the people in the comments don't mind that I address to them. One of the advantages of this channel is we are not monetized, and we don't have super chats. And something that I regret very often when I'm listening to channels that are monetized is the constant interruption with super chats. Not that it is a bad thing. I know that many of the channels are there to make money. But I enjoy those conversations, and I enjoy the uninterrupted conversations very much. I
If
don't.
someone feels the need to interrupt, they can just type their comment in all caps, and that'll be their way of screaming at
Yeah,
you
or
interrupt.
just write "Fike you, John," and I will read your comment right immediately. So
You're going to be flooded with comments now.
yeah, okay, yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to that. So, but yes, I'm very optimistic with Chapek because I really love their product, what they do, the dedication with it. At the moment, there is not a market with 3,000 units. But if you keep in mind, a company like AP is putting out 60,000 watches, from which probably half of it is a Royal Oak. I see a
Half,
potential.
way more than half. I mean,
Yeah,
it's got to be 80 to 90% Royal Oak.
I'm careful. I'm careful with my estimates. So
Let's be
yeah,
real. I mean, they're still a Royal Oak company at this point.
yeah. No, but now let's break it down. There is a couple of offshores and a couple of really fancy things.
Sure,
So,
sure,
but
sure.
the bread and butter Royal Oaks, I think it's still 50-60% of their annual productions. Can we agree on that?
I don't know, but yeah, your guess is as good as mine.
So they're doing 30,000 bread and butter Royal Oak per year. So why shouldn't Chapek, who in my opinion have a similar, in parts a superior product compared to
Hmm.
them, not be able
Hmm.
to put out
If I
3,000?
could just play devil's advocate for a bit, because maybe controversy is good, it'll get the chat like really excited. But you don't think the Chopik Antarctique bracelet is kind of junky?
I agree with you that that it's not up to par with the Royal Oak. Now,
I mean,
for
they're not even in the same league. I mean, come on.
well, I know that there is a problem, particularly with the connection. They are addressing it right now, so they are using proper bracelet screws now. I hope that they will be able to solve the connection part to the case. But let's keep in mind how much is it to replace a Royal Oak bracelet in steel? Probably 4,000 or 5,000. So it's a significant amount of the price of the watch, but it's not the end of the world. I would say, for argument's sake, that disadvantage in terms of the bracelet is compensated by that gorgeous movement.
Yeah. Let me just help you real quick with something. Like right now, you're showing this Benjamin Chi on the
Mhm.
screen, but when people are on the YouTube homepage and then the auto roll begins, they're looking at a watch that they don't know and care about. So you have to put up like a hype piece, like a Rolex Pepsi or something.
I'm not gonna do
So
that.
that way,
Nice try.
when people start scrolling through YouTube and then the autoplay begins, they see a big Rolex on the screen. Oh, look, I need to watch this channel.
I will not do that. I will not
Oh,
do
you're
that. Never.
never. It's all right. Okay, it's for subscribers.
Yeah. So yeah, the good thing is, and people don't understand that. People still confront me with, yeah, you want to be successful on YouTube. No, I don't. I enjoy what
Well,
I'm doing.
It's working.
What is working?
Not being
The hype
successful
pieces.
on YouTube.
Yes, but but I don't want to be the 101st channel about hype watches. I want to do something different, and that was the holy oath that Swis and I swore when we started that ugly baby here. So.
Is this the Tommy in the chat? Tommy, are you in the United States? Do I know you?
Yeah, this is Tommy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is he on the East Coast? Have I ever met Tommy? Just.
I'm very close in touch with Tommy. Yes, I've been talking a lot with Tommy. Yes, and that is the Tommy that you think of.
It is.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tommy just bought a new pillow, and he's over the moon. I think he's going through the same kind of excitement just when you get a new Rolex. So
it's funny. He says he says I laughed. I met you in person. I laughed at all your jokes in person. Maybe if you're referring to me, that's funny. Yeah, I do remember meeting you. And by the way, I want to thank you because I saw some comments that you made on another show where you corroborated the fact that back in the summer of 2022, I believe when we met, maybe it was the late summer, I told you all about the Wizard. And I steered you away from the Wizard, and you went on another show, and you backed me up on that.
Let's not elaborate that topic here on the Swis Jon show.
No
there are other channels where I would like to do that. I hope that you forgive me.
No problem at all.
No, but that's probably that, or very much likely the Tommy. Yeah, Tommy says, "Oh, see, yes, he met you in person." Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we were talking about Chapek. I think from the movement alone, and in my opinion, the movement is much more important than the bracelet. From the movement alone, it's a serious competitor to or alternative to AP and Patek. They may be not there in all aspects, but the movement is certainly there.
Let me ask you a question, Jonathan, because I've been toying with the idea of getting a dress watch, and I backed off a little bit because some of the I like a lot of the pieces that are in steel, but I don't like the prices of the steel pieces. I really do like and this is a hint to bring it up, the Chapek chronograph that they're doing bicycle? This year. Yeah, is it called the bicycle? The one with the aventurine dial. With the aventurine dial.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful, but at the same time, it's steel, and it's $35,000. At the same, you also have the revised and refreshed and far better looking Audemars Piguet Code 1159 and with a stainless steel with those good, really attractive looking dials, but those are $25,000 and then $28,000 for the one with the ceramic mid case. These are expensive, and then you have of course Maurice Grossman Tremblage, $30,000. These are expensive stainless steel pieces, and so while I like these, I can't see how people pay this much for stainless steel pieces. And then you also have a Patek Philippe stainless steel piece that's freaking expensive. So help me out. Like, should I care that these pieces are so expensive and they're steel and not precious metal? Or should I be really looking at, listen, a Breguet that's white gold, or a Longa Saxonia moon phase that's precious metal for comparable prices?
I know exactly what you're talking about, and it's an interesting development, because when I was selling watches 30 years ago, the trend was to make those high-end movements more accessible by putting them into stainless steel cases. Keep in mind, it was really hard to sell a perpetual calendar Patek Philippe or Royal Oak. So the watch brands tried to make them more affordable, to make it more accessible, and to sell more pieces. But just like you and I said, we are now living in times where those watchmakers are flooded with orders, and it's not that hard to sell those expensive pieces. And I'm now a little bit the devil's advocate. They keep on making those steel watches for those outrageous prices because the margin is a little bit higher than if they sold a solid gold one.
Mhm.
From a value perspective, I totally agree with you. Many of those steel watches are really so expensive that it doesn't make sense to settle with steel anymore if you have a comparable alternative in solid gold. So the precious metal is only a little step ahead of the steel watch, if it's available.
Yeah, you've summarized my conundrum correctly.
You know, you made an example in the new Royal Oak in steel.
Mhm.
I think the Royal Oak in steel is 27 or something.
It's
Code 11 20. I'm sorry.
59. Yeah, there's 3 models. 2 of them are 25,000, and one of
Yeah.
them is 27.8.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say 25. And how much is it solid gold? 32 or something.
I think 33 or 34.
Yeah.
For
So
the three-hander.
this is only a $8,000 difference. And the main reason to buy the steel, in my opinion, would be the updated dial, and not really the significant saving in getting the steel one.
Yeah, and I think the other significant issue with that's specific to the code 1159 is that the precious metal code 1159 sell for way under retail.
Yep.
in secondary, so you can get a three-hander precious metal with the less desirable, in my opinion, dial design and layout for 18, 19, 21, 2000. You're paying less for the precious metal than you are for retail stainless steel.
Oh, see, you devil! You know, you're driving me into a discussion where to get the watch cheaper and where to make the
No,
good
but
deal.
it's important.
No,
It's
no.
important because in New
it's
York
all-
you buy the code 1159 that you want at 28,000, and you pay tax. You're at $31,000 for a watch that's stainless steel that you can get a precious metal version for 10,000 less, and that just doesn't fucking make sense.
Additionally, OC, you will be it will be difficult in the next 1 or 2 years to get a stainless steel code 1159 at all.
Really?
I'm not that close with AP, but my guess is now that they presented the new code with the updated dial and for a slightly lower price, I think the demand will be higher on those. Which then means
I could probably easily get one.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
but
you have the connections, or you know someone who has.
Humble Pine.
Yeah. So the question that you ask is that Chapek with the aventurine dial.
I love this watch. I love this watch, but it's steel, and it drives me crazy that I don't want to pay $35,000 for a steel watch.
And they don't offer it at all in gold, don't they?
No. Nope.
So take it or leave it, sucker.
And Alexander, sweet guy, I met him. I said, "Listen, I don't like the 12." He goes, "Oh, no problem. We'll put double batons for you. We'll make I can't make a piece unique, but I'll make 2. I'll make one for you and one for me. How about that?" I'm like, "Fuck, that sounds. I mean, that's great. I mean, that's the kind of listening that we were talking about earlier. That where the guy can say, "Oh, no problem. Let's see. I just have to drill the holes in a slightly different place. No problem. When we get to the end of the run, we'll figure it out and we'll put the double baton for you instead of the 12." I'm like, that would be really, really cool. It's still steel though.
Have you ever seen
am I being ridiculous?
Yes, but we are all. No, but I totally get your point. Have you ever seen an aventurine dial in real life?
I mean, yeah, I can't think of exactly which. I mean, for example, when I'm at the AP boutique, they show me the code with the aventurine dial,
Perpetual.
the perpetual calendar. They bring that out and
Yep.
they say, "Here, you like this?" And you go, "Yeah." And they go, "Hey, yeah, you can't buy this."
Of
Not that I
course
could
not.
afford, not that I could afford it anyway. But of course, those dials are beautiful. I love the copper blue Longa. Um,
Yeah. So
I almost bought, and I'm kicking myself. Uh, you can help me with the pronunciation. Is it the Quai de Berge?
Quai de Berge, yeah.
Quai de Berge. The Quai de Berge there was a 42.5 millimeter version
Yeah.
in the aventurine dial, and they had it at Cellini Jewelers. And I came in uh, browsing all the brands one day, and that's when the first time I was introduced to Chopek. Is I saw that watch in the case, and I said, "What is this brand?" And the guy, "Oh yeah, it was a guy, and the was related to the Patek Philippe." They tell you the story, and you don't know what to believe.
Yeah.
Um, a Polish
Apologies for
guy.
interrupting you. We have somebody here. Welcome, Fiker.
Hello. Hello,
Oh my
hello.
gosh, this is the first time he's been on the show in months.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
I just came home and I saw that you were live, so this is perfect. I hope I didn't miss too much.
You saw Jonathan was alive.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Barely
he's alive.
without you, Swis, but I'm glad
So what's
that
happening?
you came.
What are you talking about, guys?
You've been replaced. You've been replaced by the original.
I've been
OC.
replaced?
Yes,
and now
OC
you're back.
OC drove me into discussions that we never wanted to have.
We're talking investments. We're talking
investment. Where to get the best discounts? Which one is selling better on the secondary market? So I'm trying to get out of that loop, and OC is dragging me deeper and deeper. He does a very good job in that. But yeah.
Yep.
Hello, Swis. How are you doing?
Doing good. What about you guys?
Good. I'm coming to Geneva, so hit me up on. I can't remember your handle
That
on
is
Instagram.
nice. Yeah, I will hit you up.
And let's get together.
So when are you coming to Geneva? When? Sorry.
Well, I don't want people to know because I have to increase the security around my house. But I'm leaving.
Oh yeah. Well,
so
I will give you my information. I will go to the show on the 27th.
Oh, okay.
I am pretty sure I will also go during the weekend on the open days. There are a few. There are a few other shows running parallel to this. There is another smaller show called the Iceberg. It is with independent brands. There's like Ludovic Balouard, Bernard Lederer, Anderson, and Sylvain Pinault was there last time. The Hajime Azaoka will be there. That's interesting.
Are you speaking English?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And this is, it's running parallel to the Watches and Wonders. So I don't know when I will go because it's gonna be a very, very busy week. But I will gladly go over there. There is another thing even further in Geneva called the Head something design school, where there is a bunch of other brands like Chrono Suisse, what's it called? Reservoir, other more obscure brands, Zin, non-Swiss brands from all around the world, from Geneva, from Taiwan, from China, from Taiwan, from and this also during this very week. So there is a lot to do.
Yeah. Well, cool. Looking forward to it. Instead of boring people with our itinerary planning, I'll reach out to you. We'll connect and we'll figure out something. But it's my first time to Geneva. I don't have a lot of time, so but I want to jam pack it with whatever my tour guides figure that I should be doing.
Yeah.
Crappy Luxury says, why didn't OC and Tim invite me along on the Geneva trip? You're invited. Crappy, you are invited. We're just not going to pay for you to go.
That means you guys are paying for his fare, because that is the main issue.
I'm not. I have to pay. I have to fund my entire trip. It's like
It's gonna be expensive.
I know, expensive.
Yes.
$3,700, and like food's
Oh, fuck.
expensive. But thank God Swis has volunteered to offset half of the costs of my flight.
Yeah.
Should we do a fundraiser here on the Swis and Jon?
Go fund me.
I am housing all of the community at my tiny apartment.
Tiny apartment is a castle. It's a castle.
I just throw a bunch of mattresses on the floor.
I'm gonna live stream. I'm gonna live stream from Swis's apartment.
Crappy just changed his plans.
Oh, come on, just come anyway. I'd like to see Voulez-Vous make a last-minute decision to fly to Geneva. She can work from there. I mean, she's not really needed here. Let's get real. She can just bring her laptop and she can work from there. Dodger, Geneva, come on, and Vegas. Every single person here has to go to Geneva. If you can't make Geneva, go to Vegas.
So Dodger is walking a very fine line with that comment about time you came back, Swis. Jonathan Quayle-Higgins has been doing a shit show on his own.
It's been a disaster, absolute disaster.
I would agree with that, yes.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to Watches and Wonders. It's going to be a fun time.
And you're being sponsored by a brand to actually get in on those days?
Yeah, many brands actually, but we only chose one, and it was Roger Dubuis. So Roger Dubuis is paying for everything for our local watch club.
Can you just hook me up with a day pass?
No, impossible. we did. It was pretty hard from our part, and we are lucky that we got free passes. But
I'll sit outside the steps.
It is impossible. Even for our group, we are about 15 like hardcore members, and we only had six free pass.
Yeah, and let's keep in mind, OC is the guy with a $500,000 studio just for the Tim Wright show, so he should be able to afford that little trip to Geneva and his hotel.
Oh, and Mr. Zoso makes a good point. I'm going to have my Rolex 5100 Texano with me, so I'm going to demand access to the Rolex building to sign the Golden Register. Yeah.
Maybe Swis can join you now. Swis is in the begging part to join you, going to the Rolex building. How is that?
Right. I'm gonna be slammed. I'm knocking on the front door, pounding on the door. They'll be like, "Hey, we have some nutcase outside," and be like, "Hey,
Swis, how does it feel when the table turns?"
Yeah, I mean the Rolex building. You cannot even go close to it. The security will tell you to fuck off.
Yeah, but OC owns the Texan. OC owns the Texan, and I think part of the deal was that you get a lunch in the CEO lounge or something like that, wasn't it?
But is he the original owner?
That's not important, Swis. Why do you bringing up irrelevant facts? Oh man. Listen, do you want to continue without me?
Well,
no, please stay.
You can stay as long as you don't bring value and retention again. Otherwise, I have to boot you, unfortunately. But other than that,
but Voulez-Vous loves to talk about resale value and retention and secondary market prices.
What I've understood is that Jonathan without Swis has no value retention over time. Is that correct?
Totally. Totally. This show dumped in terms of viewer numbers, and
it lost more than half of its value, right?
I was so desperate that we did a Gonzo stream 14 days ago. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, so yeah.
But you had that awesome video with Jamie Opulence and Dodger.
Over 1,000 viewers. That
is fucking awesome, man.
Yeah. But the video is also awesome, isn't it?
Yeah. So, guys, what are we talking about?
Non-value retention.
Yeah, we've been talking about the uprise of the independents, that they're now struggling to fulfill the orders that they have, and that hype collectors are now discovering the independents and trying to get on board with their orders. Last topic was Chapek, that now the value is going down a little bit now that the CEO announced that they are putting out 3,000 watches very soon per year instead of 300 this year or last year.
Oh yeah, but I mean, who cares about value in secondary market, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is, yeah,
thing,
but
thing is, I mean, people have to understand about the independent brands trying to output more watches. It's not that easy. If you're a large group, I mean, you can just up production, but the small brands, the independent brands, they don't do everything in house. They rely on people to do the parts, people to do the case, people to do the dial, people. Everything is pretty much outsourced, and so you cannot decide to snap your fingers and just double the production in within a year. It's pretty.
yeah, it starts with simple parts, just like a set of hands. You can't call your hand supplier and tell them we need the double number of hands. It's not possible. By the
War
way,
in Ukraine is fucking things up. I hope they don't even mention this. I mean, we don't need this. We don't need to talk about this at Watches and Wonders, in my
so
opinion.
Swis,
But it is pretty much true.
how do you like the guillochage on my rotor?
Fucking awesome. I mean, we pretty much picked the rotor together, right?
Yes.
We had like a bunch of rotors in the tray,
Yes.
and because the bluing process, it's so precise. They had many of them. Some we could see that it was slightly brownish around that part. The other one was not that not that brilliant under the light, and we just found that perfect one under the sun that just looked so good.
That's a great video. It really highlights the pattern.
Yeah, Jamie Opulence did a fantastic job. Actually, he just purchased a rotating table just for those shots. So he purchased a rotating table new just to make those incredible.
So he purchased the rotating table just to prove that your watch is superior to his.
Well, the opinions are a little bit varying here. Jamie claimed that he took the victory totally, and Doc's report said that Jamie's watch wiped my watch wiped the floor with my watch. I'm having a slightly different opinion about that. Jamie is a great guy, and I will never hurt his feelings, and he loves his Patek so much. So I'll leave him in the illusion that his watch won.
Very well,
guys. I'm going to implore someone from the chat to jump on the show and join Jonathan and Swis and make it a trio, because I've outstayed my welcome.
No. You're welcome. You're welcome here as long as you want. If you have to leave, it's all okay. But you're welcome here. What I had planned here is I wanted to talk about anglage and internal angles. I have
that sounds riveting. Okay, I'm going to go
for the 10th millionth time.
Riveting content, as Crappy would say.
I didn't want to scare you off, OC.
You scared me, all right. But thanks for having me on. Have a great rest of your weekend. Take care.
Thank you for holding my hand until Swis took over. Now that the nasty Fiker is here, I'm not sure if I prefer to have you alone. So, but
all right,
but anyhow, thank you very much for hopping on, and you're welcome anytime.
Absolute pleasure.
Okay, Swis.
So I have a important question. So about anglage, when the watchmakers they make those beautiful anglage on the movement, can we say that they are cutting corners?
Fair point. Fair point. I would say I can't reply to that question. How do you like that, Swis?
That's fucking awesome. Isn't that from a Grand Seiko?
No.
Or is it? Wait, let me. I have to guess the brand. Fuck, I'm not sure. That's some beautiful anglage. Is it maybe that very new brand, independent?
No,
It's called.
no,
Okay. So I give up.
Roman Gauthier.
Oh, Romain Gauthier. Yeah, I mean that is some exceptional anglage
Yeah.
right there.
And
There is one that just popped up like about a year ago. His name is Felipe Picuic. He made a custom watch for a Swiss watch gang, and man, the finish.
is that
He
the guy
just
from Berlin?
Yeah, I think it is. I think he
Yeah.
is, and he
Mhm.
uses like a very basic ETA movement, but just
Mhm.
finishes to such a beautiful standard.
1 second. I don't remember his name. Can you spell his last name? Do you?
Yeah, I have to let me Google it.
Oh, Felipe Watches in Berlin should be enough. 1 second.
Pikulik.
Yes. Mhm.
Let me.
Yeah, I got it already.
Oh, you
You
got
know,
it. Okay.
I got better without you.
Oh,
I'm not that
can
slow
do more
anymore.
than one job at a time now.
Yeah, kind of. Okay. Yeah, that is it.
Yeah.
So now let's check his
It's
watches.
kind of my style of watch, like very, classic, but somewhat modern. These are very basic movements, but he just makes such a nice finishing. Like, look at that.
Mhm.
And I don't
What is the
remember.
price of those? I think they are all sold out.
Yeah, it's not that crazy. Let me find out. Maybe I can find out.
You know, I've been talking about polished gear tooth, and on this gear, on those tooth, you can see what
Yeah, and
polished
this is so
tooth
annoying
means.
to make. This
Yeah.
has to be done by hand, and
Do you
I
remember
mean,
when we saw that at the Atelier Anderson, where this
yes,
guy was polishing those tooth?
yes, that's pretty special. It's not something you would find on
Yeah.
any watch.
How much does one of his watches cost? Because that is what I couldn't find.
Let me price. Google. So the Moon Phase 1 was limited to 20 pieces and cost 20,000 euros.
Not bad.
Yeah. I mean,
Do you
that's
know
a
if that
pretty.
minute track is applied, or if that's the same technologies, just like the tremblage?
I guess it's applied. I think you can see the four little
Yeah, the 4 little
thingies.
rivets. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, that
I was
holds it.
afraid of that. I would have preferred if it would be one piece. What do you think?
What do you mean? Like
Well,
reduced?
if it wouldn't be applied, yes. If it would be negative engraved or something like that.
Yeah, but
I think.
I mean, the guy is doing this by its own. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know.
But I mean, look at the freehand engraving on the dial. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. I totally agree with you. I've been on the Escapement show this morning, and Abdul, he's a very good friend of his, and he's always
Yeah,
visiting him
that's cool.
when he's in Berlin.
That's cool. And yeah, beautiful watches.
Look at those countersinks. Beautiful, yes. So yeah, a lot of.
Look at that. The dial has anglage. He did anglage on the dial.
You mean on those sinks
Yeah.
here? Or what do you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the sinks. Yeah. Mhm. By the way, my watch has anglage as well. You know, I was a little bit afraid that my movement would not be on par with Patek Philippe, but you can see here beautiful anglage. Oh,
yes,
1 second. 1 second.
Thomas Burnett is in Pickwick German. Yes, he is.
Mhm. 1 second. Now I screwed it up because I wanted to open a new window, and of course it's gone. Yeah, but I'm getting ahead here. Here, have a look. Beautiful anglage all over the place.
Yep.
And my favorite part is that one. 1 second, where you can see the anglage on the ratchet and crown wheel. 1 second, let me put that up. I still need to Swiss, but only a little. 1 second. Here, have a look. Swiss.
Yes. Make it full screen.
Oh my God. Does it work? No, doesn't work.
Okay. Escape.
Now we have ads. Swiss, now you screwed it up.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I mean, yeah.
Here. Yeah.
Yeah, we can see it. Yeah, this is beautiful.
You can see the anglage here on the crown and ratchet wheel. Also, it's pierced out, I think, to adjust the height or something. So I would say the finishing of the movement.
It is actually to see if the one underneath turns with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
makes sense. Makes sense. And that wheel here on the bottom that changes the direction. Is a bidirectional winding rotor. No, I was a little bit afraid that that it would be terrible compared to the Patek, but
my favorite thing about the video that you made is that Dodger in the end only could conclude that you had steel balls, but Jamie had ceramic balls. So
Swiss, do you remember when the famous outcry of Archie Luxury? Rooted rotor. He has the 240 movement, and I guess he also has the ceramic bearings. And I think the reason for the rooted rotor would be the ceramic bearings, that one of those ceramic balls cracked. Hello, Crappy Luxury.
Hello.
Yeah. Hey, Higgins. Hello, Swiss. Good to see you. Yeah. Well.
Good evening.
Yeah.
What is going on? It's
I have nothing to contribute to the show. I just thought I'd hang out on the screen there.
You just pop up. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So will you bring your air fryer when you go to Geneva, Crappy?
Well, the voltage is probably 220 instead of 110, and the plug will be different size, different shape. So since it's a luxury trip, I'll just buy my own when I get there.
That's right. Yes.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Swiss, do you have an air fryer at home?
No, I don't.
Please get back to the luxury watches. Air fryers will turn everybody off.
I'm not sure. So I have here Watch It's Brian says, I need your help. Please pronounce the name Pachelbel in German.
Pachelbel.
What is Pachelbel?
Pachelbel, it's a famous compositor. Or yeah.
Pardon my ignorance. I've never heard of Pachelbel. What did he compose?
It's a very famous. I mean, there is one very famous classic track. It's called the Canon de Pachelbel, and I mean, when you hear it, you immediately recognize it. Just Google Canon de Pachelbel, and there you go.
And he's German?
I'm not sure. Let's find out.
Yeah,
let's learn about classic music.
Let's do a Bobby Google. And hello, Thomas Burnett.
Hi there. I thought.
Oh, look at that.
I was enjoying you so much. Just your reacquaintance with Swiss. I thought it should be a Swis and Jon show, but seeing as Scrappy's jumped on, I thought I'd jump on too. So
there you go.
You're hurting my feelings.
We'll have a party. We'll have a party.
Hey,
you're hurting my feelings because everybody's talking about Swiss, and I was working my ass off now in the last couple of weeks, and nobody gives me credit.
No, you've been doing a brilliant job, Jonathan.
I'm not sure about that.
Job. No, you have, honestly.
Dodger just slapped me in the face, and I know a little bit how Crappy feels when everybody is going after him.
Yeah, no. Hey, I do have a comment to make about value retention in the watch world here. All right, this is only my opinion, so therefore, of course, it has no meaning, no merit. It's just stupid. But here it is. Luxury watches and luxury products are extremely expensive. Okay, so for example, if Mick Jagger, this is just an illustration, if Mick Jagger buys a Ferrari, okay, he can easily pick anyone he wants and buy it on the spot. Agreed? Agreed.
Yeah.
300,000, a million, it doesn't matter. You can buy it immediately. Okay. Let's say after a year or two or three, he gets tired of it and he wants to buy a Maserati instead. Even though he heard it's junk, he wants to buy one instead. Okay. So he tells his business manager, hey, get rid of my Ferrari. I'm going to buy a Maserati. Now that shows you that he wants it because he wants it and he can easily afford it. So those products are for a guy like that, or a guy who has enough money that he's not going to nickel and dime on the value retention and resale value, etc. Now, as an example, I'm not going to go buy a Ferrari. Why? Because I can't possibly afford a $500,000 car. Therefore, I shouldn't buy one. I mean, I don't know how it's any simpler than that. End of comment.
You have a totally valid point, and I remember a discussion that I had with a professor, and he said everybody with a middle or decent income should not buy more than a stainless steel Rolex, because the day date is for multimillionaires, and you simply can't afford it. When you're afraid that you're going to scratch your watch, you can't afford it.
Okay, voulez-vous, I just happened to mention Ferrari because it's very expensive. You can put any product in that example. It's, okay, anyway.
So
right.
Guys, I have to just set things straight concerning Pachelbel. So it was Johann Pachelbel, who was a German compositor and organist. He lived from 1653 to 1706, and given the date, it is possible that at the time his name would be Pachelbel. So I don't know which one is correct.
I thought that
Only
was
here on the Swis and Jon show.
I thought it was an ice cream brand. I'm really out of it. I have another question for the watch people.
From Nuremberg. Yeah. Please.
Königsegg. Yes, right. Okay. I have a question. What is the world's most expensive luxury watch that is actually legible and you can tell the time quickly, immediately? Like, say, a Hamilton khaki. A nanosecond you can see the time. Because
I would say
many of the luxury watches have so much gunk on them and subdials and jewelry and stuff. You can't even tell what time it is. So, anybody have any suggestions of what that would be?
Would the Daytona be illegible?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, definitely.
I would say the most expensive watch that you can really read is the handmade one by Gröbel-Forsey.
Forsey, yeah, I'd say.
no, I mean, yeah, it depends.
Everything else is diamond cluttered and.
No, I mean there is the Philippe Dufour, which sold for 3 million 2 years ago. So.
Yeah, but that is not the retail price. We're not talking about hype here, Swis. Not sure if you remember
talking
that.
About retail.
Yes, we're talking about retail. Tommy says triple split tourbillon chronograph perpetual calendar moon phase, which makes sense, but the Gröbel-Forsey is more expensive.
Now, I've seen on some channels a Patek Philippe watch. Looks like a field watch design. I don't know the model, whatever, but it looks, like a field watch, like a Hamilton or any military.
Like the pilot watch?
Pilot, yeah. And that looks very legible, but you can get the same legibility on a Fortis, a Hanhart, or a Hamilton. So why spend $50,000 more?
But you're not buying a legibility with a Patek.
You're not buying a Patek to read the time.
Exactly. Exactly.
You're talking about this one here.
You're not
That's
buying.
it, yeah.
You're not buying F40 Ferrari to go grocery shopping.
Yeah, and you're not complaining when you can't enter it because it's too low.
Right. I see. Well, that explains it.
So
Why
and,
there
and that,
now? Honestly, honestly, it's got one crown on the right and two
Yeah.
pushers on the left. Doesn't that look just screwy? Wouldn't you be embarrassed to wear that?
No, actually, I like this one. It's
Really?
for the dual time. So the upper pusher adds an hour, and the other one subtracts an hour.
Yeah.
So
Jump
why are
out.
they on the left?
because if they would be
Why-
on the
why
right,
not?
it would look like a chronograph.
It would look like a chronograph.
Why not put them on the top, like 10 and 2, like the Archie, whatever?
Yeah,
Then
then it would be the Archie luxury watch, which we don't want to be associated with.
It's
I
it's
got it.
probably because the movement has been made with the pushers on that side.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, the pushers.
Now, doesn't
are
this look
always-
like a Zenith Type 20 pilot? Kind of.
No, it looks like a Zenith. Actually, that is the biggest turn off,
Yes.
isn't it? Swiss, would you agree with
I
that?
think it's fine. I don't know what's the complaint. I mean, the watch is
I
beautiful.
saw Paul McCartney on an interview, and he was wearing an Aquanaut.
Yep.
Okay, and clearly he must have gone into the boutique in whatever city and said, "Oh, I like this one. I'll take it." Okay, I doubt he haggled like a bitch to buy it. And
Oh
I
no,
doubt
they,
he
actually,
cares
they
about-
gave it to him immediately. Let me
Yeah,
tell
right.
you.
And I doubt he
I'm-
cares about the resale value. But that's a very good watch because it's extremely readable and it looks like a watch, not like a
But-
piece of jewelry. So
but
I like
Crappy,
that
you-
watch.
You make an excellent point because Paul McCartney is wearing that watch for like 20 years.
Uh-huh.
Back in the day, the Nautilus was the Aquanaut was a cheap Nautilus. The strategy behind the Aquanaut was the Nautilus is too conservative and too expensive, and we're gonna make a simplified Nautilus for the younger audience.
Dude, what are those? I never saw that. What's
Huh?
this?
Gondola collection?
And I don't know, but is the
Yeah.
Aquanaut not the Nautilus, but just with numerals, and that's the only difference?
No, the case is simpler and the dial is simpler, and there is a lot of simplification going on.
The
For example,
Aquanaut is the only watch that you need. It's for everything.
yeah, that
Why
was
would
my
you
point.
need an Aquanaut when you can buy a khaki field?
Well, that's a very good point because I'm a pretentious poseur.
Just have a
There you
look
go.
at just have a look at the case of the Nautilus. It has that kind of
I see.
opening window, and now we're going back to the Aquanaut, and it's more simplified. It's a traditional case.
It looks better.
So, yeah, but if
I-
you
I
like it
agree.
better-
It looks better.
I agree
Yes.
with you.
I think the
but I-
Nautilus with the bulge on the right and the left looks kind of dopey. Kinda stupid.
But Crappy, you make a very good point. If a multi-millionaire, probably he's a billionaire, like Paul McCartney, can settle with an Aquanaut in steel with a rubber strap.
I mean, it's
why-
really it looks like a watch.
Yeah.
It tells the time like a watch. It's easy to read like a khaki, you know.
Yeah.
And it's you can't get much better quality, you know,
And
really.
it even comes in khaki, the color.
Yeah.
And fantastic.
The grenade, the green one.
Does the Aquanaut come in white gold or stainless?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
Both.
so get the one in stainless and you're set for life. That's all you need.
That
Yeah,
is
but
white
you,
gold
You
here.
can't.
Oh, white
That is
gold.
why everyone wants this watch.
You can't get it
Why not?
because everybody wants it. People are
Well-
paying more for an Aquanaut than for a Nautilus, which is totally crazy.
You mean if I went to the Patek dealer, I can't buy one?
Of course, they will tell you to fuck off.
Really? In
Even
French
the most basic
or in
Calatrava now, it's hard to get.
You mean Chrono 24 doesn't have anything for sale for an Aquanaut?
Well,
Of course it has,
they
but
have.
it's like triple the price.
Yeah.
But
That's
I
it.
don't care because I'm a billionaire, so who gives a shit?
I mean, if you're a billionaire, you can buy whatever you want.
Exactly.
Yeah, and now you're complaining about your Geneva trip? Come on, Crappy.
Right. Well, I want freebies whenever I can get them. Right.
Yeah.
Is that Aquanaut? Is that a blue dial?
They have a blue dial in white gold, but that is the basic one here in stainless steel.
I mean, the black dial I would put a black leather strap on it. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it comes with a
Perfect.
rubber strap.
Yeah.
Rubber.
Why would it have a rubber strap?
Because it is a sports watch and it's supposed to be worn in water, and the leather strap doesn't take that kindly.
Right. Can you explain
Even
the
though
concept
its name is Aquanaut.
Yeah, okay, I didn't think of that. Now, can you explain the concept of, quote, sports watch, like the Reverso or this one, the Aquanaut, where these watches cost
It's
$10,
a stupid marketing gimmick.
Yeah, they cost $10, $20, $30,000. But
It's a
no
stupid
one's going to
marketing gimmick.
play baseball or basketball or sumo wrestling wearing one of these things.
We all agree on this one. It's a stupid marketing gimmick.
Right,
Same
okay.
for Rolex with the so-called tool watch that everyone is talking about.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah, and
like-
everybody is scared to make scratches into their.
Yeah.
Like
harness.
the story of the Reverso, it was designed for polo players. If you're
Yeah,
going
but
to play
in the
polo with
1920s.
Yeah, I understand. But if you're going to play polo, running around on horses, smacking everybody with a stick and balls flying everywhere, why would you be wearing any watch at all?
Because you have to know the time.
Then you buy a $10 Casio. If it breaks, you throw it out.
But
Back then
there
in
was no $10
1920s
Casio in
yeah,
the 1920s.
in the 1920s, there was no.
Yeah, but if you wear the Reverso and you flip it over and you get smacked by a ball traveling at 50 miles an hour, it's going to get broken immediately anyway. So I don't get it.
Yeah, so does your wrist.
Well, you can fix the wrist, the watches you have to throw out. Yeah, exactly right, voulez-vous, because you have to look chic playing polo in Beverly Hills. Exactly. Or
To look
wherever.
chic. Yeah.
That's it.
Even
Heaven
in
you're right.
the
forbid, heaven
1920s,
forbid
there
you
were
show up at the celebrity jet set polo match and you're not wearing a watch at all.
yeah.
You're right,
Look,
Crappy.
look
a lot
in
a lot
the
of jewelry now. They're just jewelry.
yeah,
they're not-
crappy. Look, even in the 1920s, there were just like you, some pretentious posers.
Right, exactly.
Shots fired.
And I guess also if you're playing polo back then, if the watch gets broken
Yeah.
because from playing, you just buy another one because you're so
Yeah,
lucky.
I mean, you're a professional polo player. You're probably already the 1% of the
Right.
society, right?
That's right. No job and lots of money. Right. Exactly. All right, that makes sense.
And the horse does the most of the work.
That's right. Well, I can't comment on polo. I don't know the details, but
But you're right, Crappy. Most of the watches these days are just jewelry. Most of the
That's right.
expensive
yeah,
watches.
right.
So just by the way, we're talking about this particular watch.
hmm I think the Aquanaut is an excellent choice, and I didn't know they were not available. Then why don't they make more?
Because they don't want to.
Why not?
Thierry Stern, the CEO of Patek, said that he doesn't want to make the mistake of AP, who used to make dress watches in solid gold for most of their time. Then came the Royal Oak, and they became the Royal Oak company, and they are producing now like 80% of their watches in stainless steel. And he doesn't want his company to become a similar company. He wants to continue to produce the majority in gold.
I see. I got it. Is there a metal for watch that's more luxurious or expensive than platinum?
Yeah, sure. Palladium.
Palladium. Okay. Is there anything
Palladium
beyond?
is fucking expensive.
Right. Is there one beyond that,
Uh,
like neutronium or?
uranium?
Anything?
I don't know.
Right. I would buy uranium.
I think palladium is the most expensive.
Right. And
It's
you know-
like it's like $100,000 a kilo.
Wait until they manage to produce watch cases in artificial diamond, just like they do in sapphire.
right. Is there
It's
any
gonna be
brand
amazing.
that makes
Or
a
in
palladium watch?
solid rhodium.
Do you know any brand that makes a palladium watch?
Yeah, and BNF used to.
Really?
They have made a few watches, a few watches in palladium.
Where does tantalum come in that scale, Swiss?
Which one?
Tantalum.
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 I think tantalum is above steel but below gold.
Yeah, I think it's less expensive than gold.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it's really annoying to work with, so they don't like
Yeah, and
using it.
there is no point because you have to remember when Tantalium, I think AP made introduced the metal to the watch world.
Well,
Back then,
the chronometric blur is made of tantalum, isn't it?
yes. There's also another watch that I just came across.
Moser just made one.
Yes, Moser. Yes.
Yeah, AP used to do a few ones.
AP started that 30 years ago. And back then, it was not possible to have a black or darker metal watch. So the shtick of Tantalium was to have a darker metal than steel. But then that was taken over by those coatings that we have and the ceramic cases. So Tantalium is now a little bit obsolete.
Right.
I mean, and now that you have ceramic, I mean, you don't really need tantalum or
and even now IWC has been working on a mixture between titanium and ceramic to solve the problem that it breaks. So that is even an advancement.
Yeah.
Do you think in Switzerland, maybe at lunch break or on a Saturday afternoon, let's say a watchmaker from Hamilton is just sitting there having a cafe au lait, and a guy walks by who maybe is a buddy of his working at, whatever brand, say Tissot, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Hey, come on over." So they're talking, and he goes, "What's it like over at Tissot? You like there?" And he goes, "Oh man, this company is just the worst. I hate it. I can't wait to get out of here." Do you think they ever have conversations like that?
Yeah, of course they do.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Oh.
especially in Vallée where there is like 10 brands in like one village.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I guess it would be pretty common to have some.
I wonder what they really say to each other behind the scenes there.
Yeah, but your example is flawed, Crappy, because there are not many watchmakers at Tissot and Hamilton, I would guess. Probably in the development department, but that's it. Everything else is done by machines. And
oh, really? So okay.
There are not really many
but
watchmakers.
Maybe between AP and Blancpain and
right, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So the guy from Hublot having coffee with the guy from Patek, he might say, "Man, I'm so embarrassed working at Hublot. I mean, I passed my resume around. No one's going to hire me." Do you think maybe like that happens, or?
That doesn't happen at the moment because all the Swiss watch companies are begging for watchmakers.
Oh, I see. All right.
For good watchmakers.
So
we have Saad here in the comments. Hello, Saad. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. Just going back to IWC, Swiss, you mentioning on JJ's stream the other night that you thought they may reintroduce the Ingenieur.
Yeah,
but that is an old potato. I've been saying
I'm having doubts, but yeah, I don't know.
I've been saying that now for the last 5 years at least. Always went back home disappointed.
Yeah, I'm having doubts because now I have other rumors that they will be introducing another line, not the engineer, and it's pretty right left. There is like many diverging opinions on what's coming out.
Right.
But my first rumor about the engineer was the guy from the boutique. Now I have like some proper insider rumors that they say it's not going to be that cool. So
what people are forgetting is that they made a beautiful engineer, which was then branded AMG, not a long time ago, but it was far from being a success.
Right.
So that proper engineer also was made in stainless steel, but also in titanium. It was a little bit too big back then, and it was not a super hit for IWC. So I'm not sure if IWC is hesitant in.
It wasn't a huge hit, was it? It wasn't a huge hit.
So if it was made by AMG. Did it have a V8 by turbo inside?
No. It was a co-branding. There was just the AMG logo on the case back, which probably made the watch less attractive than a purely branded IWC, I would say. Okay,
Yeah,
now
I'm losing interest in that IWC thing.
Rumor.
I'm not sure. I think they have done a beautiful watch with the Perpetual Portofino.
Really?
Fucking awesome. Really beautiful. The proportions are really nice. The dial is superb. The case construction is nice. Everything is nice. I love this watch.
I have a question about Switzerland.
Sure.
In Geneva, let's say, is there a street that's like, the famous street, like,
Yeah.
Fifth Avenue or Park
Yeah.
Avenue? Yeah, what is that called? Would you know?
There is it's like a street that has like three names back to back, but
Okay.
it is called either Rue du Rhône or Rue de la Croix d'Or.
Okay, so
Which means the
and
Golden
are there
Cross
watch
Road.
boutiques on that street?
Yeah, there are like 30 of them.
Right. Okay. So here's a question. Say someone drives up in a Hyundai or a Kia. All right, $15,000 car, parks right in front, so everyone in the store can see the guy or woman getting out of the car.
Mhm.
And would they be going like, "Oh, look at this cheap guy. He thinks he's going to buy a Patek. Oh, Jesus." Or would they welcome him and treat him the same as somebody pulling up in a Koenigsegg?
Oh no, they will treat him the same.
You think? Huh?
Yeah.
Then I'll come
Look at
over
the
with
beautiful
my Kia.
watch.
All right.
That's fucking amazing. I love it.
Looks nice, yeah.
And the movement is beautiful, in contrary to that full calendar that they issued, which is just a disaster when you're loving horology. I will just show you the contrast to that complete calendar watch. It looks okay until you turn it around. You know what I mean, Swis?
Yeah, I mean the watch by itself, it's a bit too cluttered.
But here,
yeah, I mean, bleh. That's.
I mean, I like it. I like that the IWC developers are doing some jokes sometimes.
Yeah. Complete calendar, but comes without the movement.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think with that watch they have been going in the right direction, and I hope they will, continue on this.
What is the size of this watch? 1 second, let me check. Is it
39?
39?
I think, yeah,
Perpetual
39
calendar?
or
Let's see.
40. I don't remember. And it's not too
40.
thick. Wait.
Yeah, 40.
Oh, 40.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's a very good proportion.
If really wealthy millionaire, mega millionaires are in Monte Carlo at an exclusive affair, ballroom kind of something, and everyone's wearing their finest stuff and the most expensive luxury watches, is there a famous luxury watch brand that would not be good enough to where the other people would go, he's wearing what a loser?
I think in fine circle, if you're wearing a two-tone Datejust, you would be looked a little bit down. What
You
would
think it's
say,
like a
Swis?
bit too outdated?
Yes, outdated and probably a little bit too cheap. Because
Interesting.
in our day of internet, it has been different 35 years ago, because there was no internet and everybody thought that Rolex is doing the best watches in the world. In the meantime, everybody knows that there are some higher brands like Patek Philippe and above. So I think if you really have very high-end people around you, they will recognize that a two-tone Datejust is not really up to par.
Wow. What about a solid gold reverso? Would that be good enough?
That's nice.
I think jaws won't drop when they see a
Jaws
reverso.
won't drop, but I mean, it's respectable.
it's
Right.
not
Okay.
nice
Yeah.
for drop. Yeah, I
Got
think people want hype watches these days, don't they? You know.
What? Yeah. What about a replica gold reverso? Would that work?
Depends on how good the replica is, I would say.
Exactly. Right. Right. Right.
So, Crappy, are you? Is there any background for your questions? Are you trying to infiltrate a high-end meeting of world leaders, and you're trying to find
Yeah.
the right,
I'm just
the
bringing
appropriate
down
one?
the IQ level for the commoner in the
Oh,
audience.
I wouldn't say that,
Right.
but I really like your user picture.
Ah. Right.
The
I
face
think
is
going to
so
Switzerland
cute.
has got to be one of the best places to visit. It would be endlessly exciting. I mean, it would be, combining every possible aspect of Swiss, everything. There's so much to do there and see, and it would be just fantastic.
You know, I think Crappy is glorifying Switzerland just like he glorifies Germany.
I think Geneva is not the best place. I mean, if you want to really visit Switzerland, you have to go like in the mountains. And,
Well, let me give you an example. You could do endless watch shopping at the actual official, the flagship boutiques. Okay, you can actually go up the Alps and look for Edelweiss. Okay, you can try.
you cannot pick them up.
Yeah, and you can find all kinds of different variations of fondue. You could spend a year just doing that. You could
True.
visit the chocolate factories and get all the free samples you can shove in your mouth. Right.
You can take
could
a bath
actually-
in the chocolate fountain.
Hey, holy cow! Right. You could go to the Victorinox factory and buy a watch in the gift shop. You can't get any more factory fresh than that. Okay, and a knife too. All right, you get the combo. You could sit outside at a cafe bistro and just look at all the passers-by and make fun of their Tissos. And I mean, it would be endless. Yeah. Go skiing, ski chalets, ice skating.
There is only
shopping.
one problem with your plan,
Yeah.
Crappy. Switzerland is fucking expensive.
Well, yeah, right.
So everything that you're dreaming of is really nice, and it is a really luxury experience, but everything is so bloody expensive.
Oh yeah,
in
right.
Switzerland.
Yeah.
And Thomas is visiting Watches and Wonder as well, and
But I mean,
Is that
people who
true?
have,
That
but I mean,
is
people
really
on
nice.
YouTube whom we know who have $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 watch collections, they could do a vacation like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to meet everybody that's coming to Watches and Wonders.
Yeah, I would really love to hook up with you, Swiss. One thing I want to know is what's the restaurant like in the building?
Right.
I'm going to be spending all day there.
There's not a restaurant. It's basically everywhere you can sit. You can order drinks and food.
Is there like a snack stand where they have a hot dog and Coke for $1.50 or like Costco?
No.
Or-
No, it's
No.
like a 3-star Michelin restaurant, and
Oh,
everything is
really?
free.
Wow.
Well, I don't know what's gonna be like for the open days, but during the press days, it's exactly this. And if you want to eat 5 times, you can eat 5 times.
Yeah,
Oh,
not for the industry.
And
person.
alcohol is free. Everything is
Wow.
free. It's
So I can
pretty,
get I
pretty
can order a
baller.
steak wherever I am.
So not
Yeah,
for the
Yeah,
industry.
there
but-
is
yeah.
many waiters, walking in the thing.
Wow.
Ian.
Just say, hey,
So-
I
Yeah,
I
not
want
for the
to
industry
order
person, but just a general enthusiast. Do you have to buy a ticket to attend all these things?
Yeah, you do, Crappy. I had to buy a ticket for the open day.
How much is that?
That was 70 Swiss francs.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
and food and drinks are included in that price.
So
I
you
think-
could buy the ticket for $70 and then just eat all day.
No, I don't think.
No.
I thought food and drink
No,
will be.
I think it's
Yeah.
not the same during the
They will
open
the
days.
press days, but
I
not for
see.
the days.
I see. Right.
No, but
Why do they
I'm
call
very
it
happy.
watches- Why do they call it Watches and Wonders? Why not Watches and Watches?
Because you wonder what's gonna come out.
And does anything special come out besides?
I think they're more referring to Wonders of the World.
Yeah, I was making a joke.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
see.
That didn't come across with me.
Yeah,
got it.
you're a bit
You've
too
been
old.
so long gone. I'm not used to your terrible jokes anymore.
Mm. Do chocolate companies from Switzerland have booths or displays at the Watches and Wonders show?
Well, then it
No, I'm
would be
serious.
watches and chocolate, right?
No, I'm serious. I mean, they're famous too. So, do they have like free chocolate
No,
booths?
there
or-
is only watches.
I see. 'Cause that would be
But you can go to the booth, and if you're lucky, they give you free chocolate.
Does Switzerland have an annual chocolate festival? Fair, similar to Basel World or Watches and
No,
Wonders?
but usually all the big chocolate factories, they do have one day where it's like open to the public, and
Oh, really?
they bring out the big chocolate fountains and everything.
Wow, that's the day to go there.
Yeah, and I have a chocolate factory that is right next to my place, so that's pretty cool. It's the Fabergé chocolates.
Fabergé?
Somebody I was talking to on these channels was buying a Fabergé egg.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's
replica.
That's me.
Fabergé, not Fabergé.
That was
So-
Higgins, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. And
You're
I
buying
was
a-
planning an update on my Fabergé egg, but Swiss has ruined the entire show and the entire plan.
Ah,
So, but Swiss, what do you have to say about the breaking news? Toblerone is not allowed to use the Matterhorn anymore on their packaging, and they have to change the packaging because they are now opening a production site, I think in Czech Republic or something, and there is a Swiss committee that doesn't allow them anymore because they want to keep Switzerland's Swiss. So everything that has those Swiss elements must produce in Switzerland.
It's pretty funny.
Have you heard about that?
idiotic. That is idiotic.
No, I did not.
So Toblerone has been bought by Mondelez, and Mondelez is
Ah.
now shifting the factory. So Toblerone will not be exclusively be produced in Switzerland, and there is a kind of committee that told Toblerone, then you can't use a Swiss mountain. I think they're considering now to print the Mount Everest on their packaging, which is slightly different.
Slightly stupid, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's I'm not a Toblerone purchaser because I just don't care for it as much as other similar products. But I think that's ridiculous. I mean,
By the way, Crappy, don't say that you don't learn anything on the Swis and Jon show.
oh yeah,
The rumor that Toblerone, the name, comes from Tobler and from one is incorrect.
I don't know what the name refers to.
all I know is that the founder was named something Tobler. It was Mr.
Yes,
Tobler.
his name is Tobler, but the rumor is that he was calling his chocolate Tobler One, and that is a name.
I
But
never heard that rumor before. Never ever.
we've been stressing that on the Crappy Show. But apparently that is
I'm
a
not-
mixture
I'm not
between
watching the
Tobler
Crappy
and
Show.
Torrone. Torrone means a filled chocolate.
Mm.
Have
I
you heard
don't
of
buy
that?
Toblerone because of the shape of the pieces when you break them off. They're hard to get a good bite without it jamming into your gums.
Yeah.
So I don't buy it for that reason.
I think they're gorgeous. I think they're great.
Well,
It tastes gorgeous, but I don't like how it sticks on your teeth.
That's chocolate for you, though, isn't it?
No, but Toblerone is particularly bad and sticking on the
you
teeth.
prefer the ragusa.
Yo, very much, very much. And one of my disappointments from my Switzerland
true.
visit, may I say, is
I
couldn't get a
promised him
croissant.
ragusa croissant, and I
Yeah.
didn't find any when he was.
We walked all town, but we couldn't find Ragusa
Yeah.
croissants.
Swiss, do they sell ragu spaghetti sauce in Switzerland?
No.
Be careful, trick question.
Because that's one of America's, biggest selling brands for decades
Yeah,
and
but,
decades.
I mean, we are not in America. So.
Yeah, I know it's a cheaper brand, but it has worldwide distribution, I'm sure, like Hershey or, many products. Just wondering.
No.
Yeah.
We have Barilla.
Ah, very good. Yeah.
Be slightly more authentic, seeing as it's close to Italy.
From where you live in Switzerland, how long would it take you to drive your Aston Martin to the Italian border?
From where I live, I mean, if you go through France, maybe an hour and a half.
Oh, that's
If
nothing.
you go through Ticino, no, sorry, it's called the Saint Bernard Pass.
Mhm.
About 2 hours.
So you could get
more.
into your car, your DBS, drive into Italy, have dinner, and then drive home.
Yeah, of course.
Unbelievable.
We used that to do that from Stuttgart. We a group of friends. We took a car at night. We drove from Stuttgart to Venice, had an ice cream, and went back.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Really?
Actually,
We arrived in the morning.
my brother has a pilot's license, and sometimes he takes the plane, go beyond the Bodensee, have a nice dinner at a restaurant, and then comes back to Geneva.
Oh.
Do you,
So
do you know
he-
the actor Robert Mitchum from back when? Do you know
I
that
do not.
name? Anybody?
I do. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, he was one of the great actors of the older Hollywood up until, well, whatever. Anyway, big star. So in the 50s, or very early 50s, he was friends with Howard Hughes. Okay, and I read this in some book about this. And one day, so Mitchum says one day Howard Hughes called him up. He might have been under contract at that time, I don't recall. But anyway, he says, "Hey, Bob, what are you doing? You want to go out for a steak dinner? I know a great place." So Mitchum said, "Yeah, sure." He goes, "Okay, meet me over at Santa Monica Airport. It'll be great." And he goes, "Okay." So he says, "I was driving over Santa Monica Airport. I mean, the restaurants at the airport. This is strange." So he meets him at the airport, and he goes, he has his private plane, and he goes, "Hop in, hop on, actually, and they take off. And after about a while, they're in the air, and he said, "I didn't say anything because I didn't know what the hell was going on." The plane landed in Phoenix, and he went to his favorite steak restaurant, and then they flew back. That's the whole story.
Okay.
Well, as long as you had a nice steak, that's all that matters.
Yeah, but I thought, because you could drive to Italy in 2 hours and then come home. That reminded me of that story.
Yeah.
So Voulez-vous is bringing up soap. So is there something about soap?
Oh, that's a future show. I haven't gotten to it yet.
So
I'm just showing off.
can
my
you give us
rotor.
a little preview? What's the debate about soap?
Soap. I do use soap.
Well, good.
I think people
Good for
should
you.
use soap. And that's all I can say at this time.
What you said you don't think you should use soap?
No, I do. I think everyone should use soap of some variety, of some sort. Yeah.
You're getting an exclusive insight into his.
I mean, it can be a shower.
If you want to,
I mean, it can
if
be
you
a
don't
bubble
want
bath
to smell
soap. It can-
bad,
I mean,
sure.
it can be a shower, a gel. It can be a bubble bath, a soap. It can be any one of a number of things, but soap is important.
Crappy just made a show about mustard.
That's a very good show.
Mustard. I hate
Yeah.
mustard.
Oh,
I
dang.
do. Yeah.
Jeez.
And Crappy was defending that the people in New York are eating pretzels with mustard, which,
That's
in my
correct.
opinion, is totally disgusting.
Well,
Horrible.
Okay.
Your next one's about vinegar, isn't it?
I'm
Crappy?
sorry. What? What'd you
Isn't
say?
your next show about vinegar?
Oh, that's coming up in a week, next Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't talk about me. Talk about Swis and Jon.
Yeah, about luxury watches. So, Swis, do you want to introduce your new watch? Because nobody, or maybe you have shown it on a different channel, but I think you haven't shown it on the Swis and Jon show.
The Moser?
Yes.
Yeah. So I bought a Moser for my 30th anniversary.
Oh,
Can you
or,
pull up
birthday.
a picture?
wow. Congratulations.
I don't.
One second. I'm trying to find your message, and I'm gonna.
Probably you should have a picture somewhere. On my computer, I cannot find a picture of it.
Is it an Endeavour?
Yeah, it's a Endeavour Center Seconds with a
Lovely.
diamond bezel.
Ooh, nice.
Girl
Yeah.
size.
So it is 38 millimeter across. It has the same movement as every other Endeavour, and also the classic fumé dial.
That's the
Mine has. Sorry?
80 something. HMC 280 or 240, is it?
It is the HMC 200
200, sorry. Yeah.
movement. So basic automatic movement from Moser.
Yeah.
Mine has indices because sometimes the dial has nothing. Sometimes it has the Moser brand and indices. Mine was actually very cheap because it was in steel, and you don't usually find steel watches that have gem setting because it's.
No.
I guess it's annoying to gem set into steel, but mine is. And there we go. Well,
Wow.
Wow. Gorgeous.
Is that a diamond bezel?
yes, sir.
Holy cow.
How many diamonds are in? Or they're all together about 50?
60.
60.
60.
So that
they
is
do.
a steel case. with
They
diamond
act
bezel.
like the small hashes between the. So if you count them, there is exactly 5
One
between
for
each indices.
So
Wow.
those are the second marks. Wow. Pure luxury.
Yeah, and Swiss is afraid of scratching the bezel, so he chose the diamond setting.
Ah.
Now I can scratch the diamonds.
Yeah.
That's great. 60 diamonds, one for each.
Now, were you able to afford that, or did you take another mortgage on your house?
No,
or-
no, no. I said
HELOC.
it is like the cheapest watch from the Moser catalog because it's the only one that is in steel. And I mean, they do other steel watches, but they are like super limited and super expensive. But this one was not.
The
So,
color of the dial, would you call that fumé brown or fumé?
no, it is gray, but it has a slight champagne hue to it under certain lighting, and under another, maybe indoors, it would turn like white, like gray to almost white.
Yeah, in this picture, it looks kind of taupe.
Yeah.
Or as they
And
say, or as they
to-
say in Geneva, taupe.
No, we say
No.
taupe.
I know.
Taupe.
I know. I'm just
Taupe,
whatever.
they say.
Okay.
So, Swiss, the most controversial topic in the last 4 weeks, I would say, was the color and the making of my strap.
Yes, and I want to precise that I have changed the strap of my.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which color did you
I
get?
just got it today. Custom made for my wrist.
Okay.
With small scales, gray alligator.
that made by Swiss?
Sorry?
Who did you get it made by, the new strap?
From a small shop called Atelier du Bracelet. Well, I say small shop, but it's a very well-known
Regarded.
strap maker in Geneva.
Brilliant.
Viking expensive, but it's the result is unmatched.
Is
So I am
everybody in
really
Switzerland wealthy?
No.
No. Is there a poverty class or a poor class of people?
Yes.
Yeah, those were H. Moser watches.
Right, I see.
Of
So,
course,
Swiss,
I mean, like everywhere else,
I
right?
don't know. I think everyone in Liechtenstein is extraordinarily wealthy. I don't think they have bums sleeping on the sidewalks in Liechtenstein. Just
Well,
my
I think
opinion.
there are like 20,000 people in total, so.
Right.
But yeah, Liechtenstein, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
Because Liechtenstein is very dependent on Switzerland. So most of government-ish things are actually made by Switzerland. They just have the fancy castle with the prince and royal family inside.
If you had the Koenigsegg or whatever sports car, a luxury car, how many European countries, if you planned it out with a map, how many could you do in one day? How many could you just enter and exit in one day? Any idea? At the maximum? I think about these things.
Are you allowed to do repetitive entries, or does it?
It doesn't matter the route as long as you get to the most number of countries, and that means
but
entering the
countries.
border and exiting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think you could make a trip covering Switzerland, France, Italy, Austria, Germany, Czech Republic. And probably
but
Poland.
I would argue that if you want to keep your car intact, you should not go to Italy.
Yeah, and Poland.
Why is that?
Because it may be stolen.
Because everything is spiked up over there.
Yeah, but as long as you drive it, it's no problem.
You mean if you park your car at the Arby's in
no,
Milan?
I mean at every turn.
It's going to get carjacked while you're having lunch?
In Italy, especially in the southern part of Italy, there is a rule that whoever honks the loudest has priority.
Wow.
Swis, do you have any comments about my strap? Because that has been the most controversial topic in the last 4 weeks in the Archieverse.
Great.
How do you like the color? How do you like the stitching?
Looks really good. Love it.
So do you think
goes very well with the inner ring and with the enamel piece? I think it's.
Do you think the stitching looks like crap?
No, it
just like
really
you
good.
Stitch up a piece of meat or fish or something.
Looks fine. Didn't you tell anyone that your strap is glow in the dark?
No.
No, I think it's pretty good.
Okay. Thank you very much for your opinion. That gives me some ammunition.
I can say this with confidence because I actually saw it in real life and it looks
perfect. It is a different
it's
strap.
Not the same?
And that is the scandal.
Ooh,
that is the scandal.
Then I cannot comment then.
The strap that we selected was a little bit more gray. This has a slight greenish hue.
So why did you make the change?
The guys at Anderson Genève did that. I don't know why.
They faked up.
The watch arrived at the AD with a different strap.
Oh no! I mean, even there, it looks really good. What
yeah,
do you think?
Totally. Yeah.
Can I ask a question about Chopard?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. I'd like to bring up a screen share, Jonathan, if you could.
Yes, please.
It. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're a fan of LDC Chopard, aren't you, Crappy?
Oh, here
That's
we go.
a beautiful watch.
Okay, so I saw this watch at the Chopard boutique in Las Vegas.
Beautiful.
I think it was the Wynn Hotel or one right next to the Wynn. And I think Chopard is my brand if I were going to plunk down a fortune for a luxury watch. For the following reasons. One, most people don't buy a Chopard. They buy Rolex, okay? So it's better and it's different. It's accepted everywhere, even at the swankiest Monte Carlo, Riviera, parties. Okay, some of the most pretentious, obnoxious celebrities wear Chopard, so it's got that seal of approval, and it's very legible and it's absolutely beautiful. And the LUC line is haute horlogerie, as well as a Patek or Vacheron or etc. Does this watch acceptable? I think it's
Fuck
gorgeous.
yes.
It's perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck yes, obviously.
I would buy this watch. Yeah. And another watch, if I may show it.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Actually, since a couple of weeks, I have a discussion prepared about Chopard and how undervalued and how underappreciated they are.
Yeah. Now, this is another model. I saw this also, but it was in white, a white dial, okay? And absolute, and a gold also. Absolutely perfect. Now, you might say, well, there's nothing on it. And I go, well, it's so simple and precisely and clean and in person, just stunning. I would buy that one, the white dial one.
Yeah.
And
I'm not a
it.
fan of the date window at 3.
Yeah.
I prefer the other one that had it at 6. But
I love how the hands look like oars rowing oars.
Yeah, I like the hands of Chopard best of any brand. They're different, and they're its own design, but they're extremely good looking.
The watch that you showed previously is a little bit too simple for my taste. I like this kind of engraving, or it is a print basically. This is a metalem dial, by the way. I like when it's a little bit more fancy.
If I was wearing this watch and I met Nicole Kidman, I mean, she'd be all over me. I mean,
sure.
No
she will recognize the watch and say,
"Yeah, I mean, if I wore a Air King, I mean, I wouldn't even get the waiter's attention or the waitress's attention. I mean, you know."
Yeah, probably yes. I just wanted to show the viewers there was a fantastic article on Hodinkee. Unfortunately, Hodinkee went a little bit very corporate, but there is a fantastic article about the Chopard LUC collection. They elaborate the beauty of the movement, the decoration, and all those things. Fantastic article. Unfortunately, that caliber 196, particularly with the Geneva seal, has already been discovered by the collectors. So prices went up. In my opinion, so an interesting fact is the diamond-covered LUC watch is cheaper than the non-diamond covered. So there are still very good deals to be made.
You mean on second hand?
Yes, second hand. Yeah. And but a hidden gem, in my opinion, is the Quattro movement. They made it very early in a small size, and you can get a Quattro movement watch with a solid gold case, and that goes back to the discussion that I had with OC, for around 13 to 15,000 US dollars, which is dead cheap. It is laughable. It's just a joke. And if somebody is interested in high horology and is looking for a watch that not everybody has, just have a look at the LUC line, particularly for the Quattro watches. Fantastic watch.
You know, LUC stands for the founder's name, Lucien Ulysse Chopard. It's a good thing his parents named him Lucien and not Frederic.
Absolutely, yeah. LFC would.
Yeah, another good example of this is the Parmigiani Fleurier Tonda 1950. I saw this watch. So it is a solid white gold watch, you know, also with a beautiful movement inside. High watchmaking from Parmigiani. I saw one with a meteorite dial, so like very special one for less than 10,000. Solid white gold.
White gold?
Yeah.
With those beautiful lugs of the Tonda?
Yeah. I mean, let me find a photo of it, because that was...
Was it at Bucher? Or?
Oh, it was on Chrono.
Oh.
There it is. Oh, fuck a block to watch. Okay, let's go. So I want your opinion, since you like simple watches. Can you bring this one? I put the link in the chat.
The link in the chat, okay.
Private chat.
Yeah.
I think this watch is fucking fabulous. The case design is really good. I love the... Well, you will see. Has a ultra thin movement with the small rotor inside.
Is that one?
Yes.
Little bit too simple to my taste.
So it's a Tonda 1950 Parmigiani, is it?
Yeah. This is 39 mil. I mean, when it comes to a simple freehand watch in gold, this one has a meteorite dial.
Right.
That meteorite?
And you can find these for 10,000. I mean, this is crazy.
This white dial is meteorite? I think that
Yeah.
is a meteorite structure.
No, it is.
It's painted meteorite, or how do they do that?
No,
Why is it
it's
white?
just meteorite. I mean, the meteorites has to be treated, like leather. There is many ways to treat meteorite.
I think it's painted over, just to keep the structure.
Just go back to the movement.
Looks kind of like a linen fabric pillowcase.
Yeah. I really like the structure, I must say. Let's go back to the movement. Yeah.
Yeah, movement
Well,
is beautiful.
you can see that the LUC movement and this are cousins. Can't
Yeah.
you?
The LUC has a better finishing, of course. But this, I mean, for 10,000 in gold, this is, I mean, it's super cheap. Super cheap.
I love the structure on the dial.
What do you think to the new Tonda PFs, Swis? The new integrated bracelet ones.
I like them. They are extremely comfortable. Like,
Yeah.
really.
I tried one on. Yeah, I thought it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
They go for
But
about
they are very expensive.
£17,000. It was.
They are very expensive.
Yeah.
Just let me check the article. I think Swis is still making that up, that it's meteorite.
I would be pretty bummed if it turned out it's not.
Parmigiani meteorite is so rare. It says, yeah, it's apparently meteorite.
White-colored meteorite isn't common, most likely because seeing the dial detail is not. Yeah.
I love that picture with the structure. Not sure if the viewers can see that, but it looks like linen. Thomas is
the white
correct.
dial model is the runt of the litter. Still have the potential with their light dial. Yeah.
Let's go on Chrono 24.
It might be reasonable for a watchmaker to not expect as much demand for a subtle version of a dial that people buy for its visual pattern. But that's what I like about it. They don't overdid it.
What is the diameter of this?
There is a picture of the normal one underneath. The diameter is 39.
Gianni, 1950, meteorite. Well, look, maybe we'll find a new watch for crappy.
Oh, look, there is one right there, 11,000. You can probably negotiate.
Yeah. You can haggle him down below 10,000, and it looks like it's never been worn.
Never been worn, ever. Look at that. Just waiting for someone to pick him up.
That is ridiculous. $11,000 in France. So it says condition
and you
unworn.
get a free baguette with it.
Original box, original papers. That is crazy.
You can do a baguette.
But it says case material titanium.
Oh,
is that an error, or is? 1 second. No, we can't see the reverse side to identify it with stamps.
Oh, I didn't know it was titanium.
1 second. Let me pull the article up again. Swis, you're supposed to do that, not me.
I'm trying
Here,
to read.
there are no stamps. There are no hallmarks on the luck. So I think Edition Spéciale.
Okay, so this one. Wait. Image data, non-meteorite dial, Tonda watches. Let me go on Chrono and search.
Yeah, it says this titanium cased one, just there.
Does it say?
Yeah, forget the Parmigiani. Also make this titanium.
Yeah, this titanium cased version.
Yeah.
But I would accept the titanium case just for the meteorite dial. That is super cool.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
Like there is the classic white gold with a black dial with a diamond bezel for 9,000.
But it's not meteorite dial. It's not black meteorite.
No, it's the standard.
Look at the batons. How sharp they are.
They are beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Right? That's a
I mean,
beautiful
and the watch on Chrono 24 is unworn with box and papers. That's insane.
Yeah.
Very good find, I must say.
Just like LUC Chopard, Parmigiani is one of those brands that they do a very good job, but somehow people, they don't want them.
Yeah. Crappy, would you get one of those Parmigianis?
No, I thought on the subdial the indices were just too small, and I like
illegible.
Yeah, I like it to be more readable. Yeah. Is it appropriate to buy an Aquanaut and then substitute the rubber strap with a beautiful leather strap? Is that acceptable?
Yeah, I think that is a no-go. You're going to be kicked out of.
I think it's very acceptable. In my
really?
opinion.
Oh, come on, Swis.
Who cares about the fucking rubber strap? You have the watch.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like, how come people who buy Rolexes, for the most part, they keep the bracelet and they don't just take off the bracelet and put on a leather strap, like on a Datejust or whatever model. They keep it on the bracelet.
They do.
You know what I really want to see? You know what I really want to see at Watches and Wonder from Rolex? There were rumors they're making the Explorer 1 in solid gold.
Yeah. And
the more I think of it, it will be a gap for Rolex to make solid gold watches on Oysterflex straps.
Yeah, but they already do with the day-date sometimes, right?
Day-date Oysterflex?
Oh, I thought Oyster bracelet. Oysterflex?
Daytonas they do, and the Yachtmaster. Okay. But how about an Oyster Perpetual, a Datejust in solid gold?
That would be interesting. Yeah.
I think that is a true gap that they could fill. It will be above a two-tone. It would be opening them to sell more solid gold watches, but they could cover a broader audience.
Yeah,
I think Rolex should think about that and pay me a commission for the idea. Because let's be honest, still with 36 millimeters, an Explorer 1 in solid gold with an Oysterflex strap, that would be cool. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I'd have to see it first. I don't know.
Okay, so are we finished with our discussions? Crappy, any more questions?
No more stupid questions for today.
No questions about fondue or cheese or...
No, we covered that once before in great detail. It was terrific.
Oh, so you can tell me everything about cheese now?
No.
Right.
But at the time, it was fantastic. Right.
No, but Swis, please hop on Crappy's show. I think those are wonderful shows with you and Crappy when you share some inside knowledge about the Swiss culture, just like I do with the German culture. On the last show, I educated Crappy how somebody from Germany would.
So I have a question. So Crappy, where are you right now?
Portland, Oregon.
Portland, Oregon.
It's Oregon is the state on top of California.
Right.
And below Washington State, which is Seattle.
Yes.
Right.
We have here a viewer question. Thoughts on a precious metal, Day-Date or Oyster Perpetual with moon phase? I believe besides Cellini, we have to go back to the 6062 and 8171, both from the 50s. What are the panel's thoughts?
I don't like that idea.
Moon phase.
An OP with moon phase would be quite nice. I mean, I know the Cellini moon phase is the last one that they did, and The Cellini line needs a bit of revival, I think. I don't know whether they've dropped it altogether or...
Oh, they dropped it because it was stupid to sell the watch. So, I mean, the designs of the watches were super nice, but they were just too expensive.
Yeah, I love the Cellini prints. That was one of my favorites, just the rectangular one.
Oh, this is like sometimes.
I disagree with Swiss. I think the reason for the lack of success for the Cellini is not the price, that they were too expensive. You know, we are talking about how strong Rolex as a brand is, and Rolex marketing is destroying everybody. And Rolex is such a strong brand. And in my opinion, the Cellini is the prime example that the Rolex brand is not so strong, just like we say. Because if it would be correct, the Cellinis would sell like crazy just because there is Rolex printed on.
Yeah.
It's not the case. So every time that Rolex is trying to be similar to Patek Philippe, they take a bath, and it's not a success. And to reply to the question, to tell the truth, that is exactly the mistake that they would do if they combine a day-date with a moon phase, or an Oyster Perpetual with a moon phase. Rolex must be Rolex, and a day-date, even an Oyster watch is an Oyster watch, and it's not a high horology piece. Rolex should stick with what makes them strong and should not go the other path.
Yeah.
It was
Swiss.
just too expensive.
You mean a day date with a moon phase would be too expensive, or are you still saying the
day
Cellini
date
was
with a
too
moon
expensive?
phase is fucking stupid, but the Cellini was way too expensive.
Yeah, but the Cellini used to be cheap and it didn't sell. The Cellini, the simple Cellini hand wound with beautiful movements were like 5,000 Deutschmarks when a day date was like 20, and
Yeah,
they didn't
but that
sell
was
them.
ages ago.
Yes,
I
but
mean, the market
but
is
the price
really
is not
different now.
yeah, but the price is not the problem. I think that the problem is when they're getting similar to Patek Philippe, they're buying people are buying a Patek Philippe and not a Rolex.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, you're saying that Rolex is a 100% hype brand.
Yeah.
If
No.
there is no hype, they don't have the watchmaking to back up their watches.
No, Rolex is Rolex, and Rolex is the oyster, and that's it. Every time they slide away from the oyster concept, they prove that they're not successful. Take the King Midas,
because
for
everything
example.
that is not oyster is not hype.
Yeah, well,
So that was my point.
yeah, but your point is everything that is oyster is hype, and I would disagree with that.
I think that's a fairly good point, actually, Swiss. I think everything oyster is hype, really. Yeah. I agree.
Two-tone, they just hype.
They do sell. I mean,
They do sell, but they are not hype. You can get them at retail.
no,
even
but
at the
they are hype because it's Rolex. Sports Rolex.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's undangerous to
Somehow,
the
whatever.
ones you always see.
I think
in the
it's a useless conversation.
Can I make a short departing remark?
Please, Karapi,
Yeah,
but
thank
you don't have to leave.
No, I have things to take care of today.
Mhm.
So, blauwe Käse streng verboten.
Say it again.
Blauwe Käse streng verboten.
I
So,
know that
I think he said that blue cheese is strongly.
Yeah, he doesn't like blue cheese.
Yeah,
that is
Blue
what I learned
cheese
from.
strictly forbidden.
Mhm.
How would you say that, Higgins? In
Well,
German?
we don't call it blauer Käse. We call it Blauschimmelkäse.
Blauschimmel. Okay, right. Yeah.
We call
Why
it blue
Blauschimmel?
fungus cheese.
Blauschimmelkäsen streng verboten.
Yeah.
Got it. I'll remember
Very
that
well.
when I go to Germany. All right.
And to answer Serti Danny's question, do we think the Black Date sub is hype? I definitely do. Yeah.
Of course it is.
Yeah. Of course, every professional model is hype. Yeah, but fortunately, the height prices went down a little bit to reasonable height. So if you're on the fence on getting one, get it now, because just like I said earlier on the show, I think China will be picking up very soon. So the supply that is now shifted to the US, the extra supply, will be shifted to China back, and then we have the supply issue again. So I think Submariners are relatively cheap at the moment on the secondary market. So grab them while you can.
Right.
Well, they're still a bit expensive, but yes.
Okay, I think with that we're closing the show. Thank you very much for joining the panel. I'm happy that I was not riding 2 hours alone. Thank you very much to OC for joining me earlier.
Yeah.
Thank you, Swis, for coming back. Swis, please address the rumors that we had a terrible fallout. We hate our guts,
Yeah.
and that is the
Yeah.
reason why you left.
Yeah. And only because he paid me $10,000, I am here right now. But otherwise, I hate Jonathan from the bottom of my core.
We love you, Swis. We love you.
I'm still waiting on the money, John.
Well, you can wait a little bit longer now. So, Thomas, thank you very much for joining the panel. Crappy, always a pleasure. Thank you very much to the viewers in the comments. Sorry if we haven't addressed to all the questions. It was an exciting, riveting show. I hope that Crappy will agree with that. And I'm playing the trailer right now. See you next time.
Fromage.